Well, just around the corner, we'll be in the month of December, and kicking off the month of December at the Farmington Players will be a production of the games Afoot or Holmes for the holidays. Joining us now on the program to talk about this production is Cynthia Tupper, the director of the show, as well as actor Jim Moll. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Tyler.
having us.
Appreciate having you both on. Let's start with you, Cynthia. Tell us a little bit about this play and what people can expect to see when they head to the Farmington Players in early December for the opening shows.
Well, this is a really fun show for the holidays. It's pure escapism. It's not per se really a Christmas show, but it's set at Christmas time. And it's set in 1936 in the home of William Gillette, who was a real person. He was a stage actor that was very famous in his day. And he was the one that brought Sherlock Holmes into favor and wrote the first play about Sherlock Holmes with the permission of the author. And it was a huge success. And so the author, Ken Ludwig, of this show, loves that time period. It's an Art Deco time period. The set is Art Deco. The costumes are very glamorous. It's all set in that glamorous time period. And a murder happens during the evening at his home on Christmas Eve. And an attempted murder had happened previously. So he's trying to solve the case. And the person, William Gillette, also is so bonded with his character of Holmes that they're almost interchangeable. And he goes back and forth between being Holmes and Gillette. And that's the part that Jim plays, which is the main role of the show.
More information can be found, including showtimes and purchasing tickets, at farmingtonplayers.org. Farmingtonplayers.org. Also joining us is one of the actors from this performance. It's going to be Jim Moll with us on today's Megacast. Jim, tell us about your character and what it's been like for you to prepare for this holiday show that's also got some comedy in it.
Yeah, hi, Tyler. It's my role is a great role. William Gillette, as Cynthia was saying, was a real guy and had this kind of strange alter ego with Sherlock Holmes. So the way Cynthia has staged it and has us acting it is she's brought in the transatlantic accent, which you're familiar with if you watch old movies from the 30s. So we're all striving to have that sort of an accent and that sort of presentation during the show. And again, it's a really interesting script because it goes back and forth between being a murder mystery, but also a comedy, and there's a lot of sight comedy involved. And so folks will have a really good time when they come to the theater, I think. The Farmington Barn's a wonderful place to be an actor. I've done a number of shows there, a few of them that Cynthia has directed as well. And there's 200 some odd seats in the house, and there's not a bad seat in the house. So anybody who comes will have a wonderful experience, I think.
Again, more information can be found on farmingtonplayers.org. Their opening weekend of shows begins Friday, December 2nd, and runs through Sunday, December 4th. Evening shows at 8 p.m. on that Friday the 2nd and Saturday the 3rd, matinee at 2 p.m. on Sunday the 4th. That's not their only times, though. They also will have the next weekend over, Friday the 9th of December through Sunday the 11th. Same show times on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, 8 p.m. Sunday, 2 p.m. The next week over, it begins on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all at 8 p.m. showtimes on December 15th, 16th, and 17th. Again, more information can be found at farmingtonplayers.org. Cynthia, going back to you as the director of the show, having to kind of switch between that interesting dynamic of murder mystery and comedy can be a little bit of a tough change, especially a quick change for actors when those scenes go one way versus another. How do you as a director help your cast prepare for those situations and craft them in a way that's entertaining and not too jarring of a transition between one setting and the other?
Well, we go back to the movies of that time, and there were a lot of screwball comedies during the 30s. And so we're using that as our inspiration to really be accurate to the time. And there's really nothing more funny than elegant people doing physical comedy. And just, you think about Cary Grant and people like that, Katharine Hepburn, they were all very elegant people, but they were doing crazy things on screen. And so Ken Ludwig just loves this time period. And he set many of his plays in this time period. So we're really trying to be true to that. And the actors just have to believe in those characters. And we've done a lot of work on the physical comedy of this and even had someone help us because there is some interesting things that happen. I don't want to give anything away, but we have what we call a fight choreographer that helped us with some of this stuff because it looks pretty difficult when you're doing it and you've got to be doing it right and safely. So this was a huge acting challenge for all the actors.
And let's follow up on that with you, Jim. Tell us about navigating that challenge from going from, as Cynthia said, more of a screwball comedy setting, very 40s movies like comedy, into a murder mystery, and then back and forth in between, all the while doing that in a stage play.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is as an actor, you don't ever play the comedy. You just play the script. And the way that Ludwig has written this is that as you play it, if you play it straight and you let the lines and the script do its work, it'll be funny. If you try to be funny, you're going to get in the way. And so, as an actor, I think our challenge is to simply take the words, be convincing, and as Cynthia says, believe in the character. If it's a real person saying real words, and the words are funny, the audience will laugh. If you try to get ahead of that and you try to seed laughter, yeah, it never works. So you never try to play comedy. You play it straight and let the words do their job.
That's such great advice for those that are looking to get into acting and are trying to figure out comedy, or those that have some comedic chops to themselves, but maybe sometimes might get in their way with a little too much improv and too much forceful comedy when they're doing these sorts of shows. We're joined by Cynthia Tupper, the director, and Jim Moll, one of the actors from the Farmington Players production of the games Afoot or Holmes for the Holidays, which begins December 2nd at the Farmington Players. More information and purchase tickets, farmingtonplayers.org. Before we let you two go, I want to give you each an opportunity to speak one more time. Cynthia, let's start with you. Why should people be interested in seeing this story and take time out of their busy schedule to go see this play as they kick off the middle part of the holiday season at the beginning of December?
Well, I think this is just perfect escape entertainment. And everybody is busy, and this is something you can come with your family and your friends and just escape and really enjoy the show and the fun thing about it is that it's a newer show. People don't know what to expect. So there's going to be a lot of surprises, and I think that that's very rewarding for the audience to see something fresh and new that's funny and entertaining during the holidays. I think it's just like I said, it's a really fun escape with elegant costumes. The set is worth the price of admission. We've been very accurate to the Art Deco period, and I'll give a shout out to our set designer Phil Hadley, who adores this time period, and we've done a lot of special things. And there's a revolving set piece that happens in this show, so it's been a complicated, but it's going to be a really interesting watch for the audience. I'm sure they're going to love it.
Jim, we got about 30 seconds. Anything else you'd like to say on this show before we let you go today?
No, as Cynthia is saying, Tyler, I think we've had enough serious stuff in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on that has caused people to have to take a half step back and pause life and wait things out. So let's get back and have a nice time. The show is wonderful. It's funny. It's engaging. Folks will laugh. Folks will have a good time. And I think it's about time we all did that.
Well, we appreciate both of you being on to tell us about the show, and of course for providing us that outlet and that brief escape from the seriousness of our world today. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Tyler.